Okay, so essentially what we have here is we have the controller tablet, which allows us to kind of investigate the voice and the microphone settings, the scaling settings, the silence threshold, and stuff like that that we um, can have independent of the actual assistant. So this is just purely to kind of enable and disable certain assistants, select the microphones, kind of see what's happening behind the scenes. So here you can see that the audio cue is queuing up. If I pause for a couple seconds and resume, it'll clear it because it knows that the two segments of voice are completely separate, versus if I paused for a half a second, then continued to talk, it would queue up a completely separate audio, part of the audio cue. The reason why this happens is because, let's say I talk for a second, then I pause for a second, then I talk again. They might have been just continuing what they were asking, instead of asking something completely different. So we want to pick that up as quickly as possible without having to wait a couple seconds before we send it off to get the potential intent of what they just said. So we can do that dynamically. Now, if they pause for a second, then they talk for a second, and they have two kind of little clips of audio, we patch that together and we send it off as one piece of audio to the assistant, so that it basically the assistant can treat it as one utterance, and it can kind of determine what was being asked at that given time. So let's clear this up and let's give it a shot. So I'm just enabling the Lex Assistant right here. So this little thing here just enables that, and you can see that over here this is now enabled versus it was disabled before. Now over here on this intent list, this is pulled dynamically from Amazon, from their Lex Assistant, and so we can see kind of the list of intents that we are able to choose from here. We can see if we hover over the specific intent, we can see kind of some of the utterances that were used to program these intents. So we can dynamically update kind of the learning system behind the assistant that allows us to essentially tweak these as needed and make them more accurate. If there's some overlap, it might get a little confused as to are you asking this or are you asking that? So as you can see over here, after something has been asked, it'll turn from a red N for no over to a green Y for yes. So that designates that it's been asked. And it's been picked up by the assistant. Then we have a response time over here. So that's the round trip time to go from here to Amazon Lex and then back. And then once it's come back and we have the list of the response and stuff, that's the round trip time that it took. And the confidence level is basically just that. It's the confidence that the bot has or the AI has in what you said means this intent. So if I say something exactly like the sample utterance here of what is your age, and the demographic age comes back, that confidence should be something like 100%. Versus if I say how old, and I just say that, it might pick that up still, but it's going to be less confident in that answer. So you can see that level of confidence vary here. And if you want to reset this down here, you can just click reset. That'll reset the whole list so we can kind of start over as needed. So we're going to start here and enable the assistant by clicking Start Assistant, and then that will start to actually take the voice that we're saying, send it over to Amazon, and then hopefully populate some of these up here. So we are going to make sure that is enabled, and we are going to clear our audio cue of me just talking here, and so we'll do that. Did this start fast? Okay, so you can see here that that took a little bit. I believe that's because that was the first thing that we've asked, and I haven't actually sent anything to this bot in maybe a month. So it took probably a few seconds to spin it up in Amazon, so the subsequent ones should be faster. Now, this is what I asked here was, did this start fast? And it came back as a 100% accuracy, 100% confidence. You can see up here that we have the transcription up here of did this start fast. That was exactly what I said. It was accurately picking up on my voice and translating that into text and responding with an utterance that it thought that I asked. So let's start this again. If I clear this and then start, we'll ask something else. What previous surgeries have you had? Okay, so this came back in about 2 seconds, a little bit better, and that was 100% confidence again. And if we come down here to when did this start, we should be able to get that back. When did this start? Okay, so you can see down here, this came back in a couple seconds here. And because it was essentially the same verbiage, it was 100% confidence. Okay, so we'll come up here to like how old are you and doing the demographics and stuff like that. So we'll try that out. We'll clear this. Okay, so that's all cleared out now. And let's try. How old are you? Are you male or female? Who called the ambulance? How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh? Is this an acute or chronic illness? Do you have any allergies? See, this one kind of came back a little bit different. So when the voice got sent over, I asked, do you have any allergies? And it transcribed that as I have allergies. Now I have a little bit of background noise here, so maybe that kind of occluded it a little bit, but essentially it was able to detect that with a 44% confidence level in about 2.2 seconds, which is better than nothing. Obviously, as we go forward and we determine kind of what the right thresholds are, and maybe the silence threshold needs a little bit of tweaking, and the audio scale, maybe it was too quiet for the Lex service, or maybe there was too much noise in the background. So it can work quite well. I accidentally overwritten this one when I had it enabled, but yeah, as you can see here, it's pretty accurate with the demographic ones. This one was 100%. So yeah, this is basically a little showcase of what we have going on here. And yeah, that's it for here.